All right. Pardon my tardiness, y'all. Pardon my tardiness twice. Uh, I like to try and get text set up. I'm doing like the Jeffersons, moving on up. Uh, so I needed to get my tech in order. But hello. All right. Let me just double check one thing because this is new that I'm doing this, that I'm going live in a group. All right, I'm in there. Yes. Okay. So, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to have you here. Yay! This replay will be up for later, so don't worry if you didn't catch it live. I am your host, Debbie Maishan. I'm very excited that you have decided to join Sensual Abundance. And so, what I would love to know, first of all, in the comments below this video, is why did you decide to join? Please do not say because it's free. Okay, it's not a reason. Do not say to support me because I love that. I do, but I want you here for you, not for me. So, taking those two things off the table, why did you decide to commit to 40 days of shifting your abundance? What's happening right now in your life that's having you say, this is a good time for this? What are the stories that you're looking to unravel and looking to? I can hear one of my lights kind of doing this strange sound in the background. Let me see if I turn it down a little bit, if it still makes the sound. Um, what is going on that has you say now is the time for this? What are your money stories? Do you even know what they are? Because sometimes we don't. So, a little bit of background about me, and then I'm going to talk about this course, if you will. I should get the book. Give me 1 second because this is the second time I've done this, and I keep meaning to have the book available to show you all what it looks like. Okay, so this is The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. This is the little tiny book that we're using. Why am I flickering? This is the little tiny book that we're using, and there are 10 statements inside that we are going to utilize during the course of this program. If you haven't gotten your book yet, or you're not in a position to get the book, which I totally get. Why am I flickering? It's not evil spirits, y'all, don't worry. If you're not in a position to get the book, which I understand, I won't write out all the statements. I don't think I'm going to do that in here. I might. But what I will do is type out the very first thing that you're supposed to do and the very first instructions. I will have that in here for you. Either I'll put it in later tonight or Thursday morning. So just in case you don't have the book, because if you don't do that, you can't start on Thursday. You have to wait until you do it and then start on Friday, which is fine. But I will put the first statement that we need to say, I will put that in a group. If you don't have the book, it's okay. Every day I'm going to read the statement, and you can write it down as I'm reading it. All right, so why am I doing this? For those of you who don't know, who are new to me, my work is around sensuality, sex magic, women feeling freer and more open in their bodies, in their minds, in their hearts, in their voices, women living as their most authentic selves. And I got into this work because I ended up in a marriage that was very unhealthy. We were unhealthy to each other. I cheated. He was abusive. It just wasn't a good mix. And when I left the marriage, my thought initially was, as I started to get deeper into healing myself, and I was a personal trainer, and I'd always been into meditation and esoteric things, and all of that had been a part of my life, spell work, all of the other alternative things had been a part of my life. But as I began to heal, I thought to myself, hey, you know what? Maybe if I work with men, I can help them heal so they won't be like my ex-husband was, because he was in need of a lot of healing and I wasn't capable of healing him, and he wasn't ready to heal himself. And let me retract that. It wasn't my job to heal him, but I wasn't capable of being a conduit in any way for that within our relationship. And working with men didn't quite work out as well for me for a whole host of other issues that aren't applicable to what we're doing here. So I turned my attention to working with women. And my thought was, okay, well, if I work with women, to know who they are and to be able to stand in their truth and their power, to own their own pleasure and their sensuality, then they won't end up in the position that I ended up in. And that's really how sensual energy alchemy was born, out of my pain and out of my desire to assist women in not experiencing that. And if they have gone through things in their life, to maybe shorten the time span that it took them to heal, and it hopefully wouldn't take them as long as it took me. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing this work. Why sensual abundance then? Well, because part of my issue had been lack. There wasn't enough of anything. These are stories that came through family lineage. I am the ancestor, not the ancestor, not yet. I am the descendant of people who were enslaved in chattel slavery. Our bodies were used as commodities. Encoded in my DNA are ideas around that and what that means. There's the idea that my skin color prevents me from having access to certain wealth. And then there's the lived reality and experience of having to really maneuver with money as well. Then as an adult, when I was married with my husband, we went through many money trials. Together, we were abhorrent with money. Tons of money would come in, it would go out just as fast. We would have droughts, and then we would have tsunamis, and then during the droughts it was really bad. We were on all kinds of government assistance. There were moments in time where the local food pantries, that was how we ate. After the food stamp money ran out, like I could time, okay, the food stamps come in this day, they'll be gone by that day. I can hit this shelter here. I mean, this pantry here, that pantry there, that will take us into the next cycle when the food stamps would come back in. We had some time when our water was shut off. We were living in a house, water was off for 3 months, 5 children, 2 adults. You can only imagine. And so I went through a lot of money chaos and a lot of these ideas of kind of like, this must not be for me, or I must be here to suffer. Or why is it that every time, we get money, we can't keep it, we can't save it? Like, like money doesn't like me, was the idea. The spirits are with me today because it is flickering, flickering. I, so that's where I was in my money story. And it seeped into everything that I did. It seeped into worthiness. When I was a personal trainer, I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid to try and get a sale. I felt some kind of way about sales, and everything was scammy, and it was just gross. That even though I thought I was a good trainer, but like you had to ask me, like I didn't want to offer anything to you. But at the same time, I leaned on my mother a lot. I knew how I knew how to word things so that she would send money my way. I could easily play the victim when it came to money. Like I was incapable. It really like icks me to think of that. But I was a complete victim with it. Through the course of my own healing journey and tantra and sacred sexuality and getting back into my body because I was very dissociated, I ended up coming across, I don't remember how I came across this book. I think someone mentioned it somewhere and I got it. Now, initially, look at that. I don't know if it's flickering where you're at, but on my end, it's flickering. Um, I initially got the book because I wanted to make a lot of money. I read through the book kind of sort of at first, not really. I didn't really read through the whole book, you see, because I just wanted to get to the part where the money was God. I that's all I wanted. Yeah, yeah, the spiritual stuff. I got you. But I wanted to get to how do I get the money? Oh, so I do these statements every day and the money will come. Great. I'm gonna do that. First time I did this plan, I did not make it all the way through. I had missed the day, had to start at the beginning. Did it a second time, I missed the day, had to start at the beginning. Did it a third time and I made it all the way through. And what I learned was that this was not about making a lot of money. Hi. What I learned was this is not about making a lot of money. And I was not going to make a lot of money just by doing these statements. However, over time and doing this book, what ended up happening was my ideas around money and abundance started to shift. See, I only saw abundance as cash. I didn't look at all of the ways that I had been cared for or taken care of. And if it was done in a way that I didn't like, I poo-pooed it. I like so I didn't realize I was spitting in the face of the universe. So for instance, through a set of fairly unfortunate circumstances, I ended up with a Section 8 voucher. And if you don't know what Section 8 is, it is a federal program that basically allows you to live almost anywhere in the country where where a renter is willing to have the rent subsidized by the government. So, for instance, if there's a beautiful 5-bedroom house out in the suburbs that someone is renting and they've signed up with this program, and a person has a voucher, and they cannot afford the 5-bedroom house on their own, right? You take this voucher, the government looks at what you make, and then they say, okay, well, you pay 1,800 and we'll pay the rest. So it gives families the opportunity to live in places they normally wouldn't have been able to afford. It is a beautiful program that has gotten a hell of a bad rap through movies and ghetto fabulousness about what Section 8 tenants are like. I was a Section 8 tenant. And we had this beautiful 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom house in the suburbs of Prince George's County, Maryland. I did not look at that as a blessing. I did not look at that as abundance. I looked at it as I sucked. I should be able to do this all on my own. My husband and I should be able to do this all on our own. It is a blessing, huge blessing. Right? But I didn't look at it that way. I didn't look at anything that was given to me as this is I looked at it all in the wrong way. I worked. I had jobs and I was on food stamps and I was busy looking at it like this isn't a blessing. This is disgusting. Look at you. You should be able to do all this without this help. And I thought about it later on as I'd gone through the abundance book, and I was like, Maisha, look at how many times you have been taken care of in so many ways. And because it wasn't the way you liked it, because it wasn't the way you wanted it to show up, you were like, I don't want that. And so in doing so, I squashed the abundance that could come into my life because I was only going to allow it to come into through this very narrow space, as opposed to accepting all of the abundance that could come into my life. So for instance, I'm back at work. I do work seasonally in financial services. And at one of our meetings, my supervisor, my boss, whatever, do people even say that anymore? But she gave us all Starbucks gift cards. Well, hey, and now I'm like, oh, abundance. Okay. Thank you for the gift. That it's little things like that that we don't look at. I'm going to a basketball game tonight. I didn't have to pay for it. These were comp tickets. Abundance. There's no cash involved here. There's no cash exchanging, but it's an overflow. Them tickets ain't cheap. I know how much they cost. And I get to go and take my son and have a good time without coming out of my pocket, except for train fare and concession stand. That's abundance. So, and you'll hear more of my story over the course of this. So Part of what we're going to do is expand your idea of what abundance is because we swear it looks like money in our bank, it looks like cash, and let's be clear, it's really hard not to see it that way when you need $20 and you only have 5. It's really difficult to keep the mindset of, "Oh, I have abundance," when I'm standing in the middle of Giant or Safeway, as I was trying to figure out, "Okay, how am I gonna feed 7 of us and I have $25? How am I gonna do that for 2 days until dot, dot, dot?" So that's real too. And I hope I remember to I'm making notes about this because I'll think of it and then I'll forget. So I'm actually making out an outline for this. That's real, and we're gonna talk about that too. And what do you do in those times when the reality is I don't have cash and someone needs to actually eat? Now, let me be clear, I'm not a money coach. I'm not a financial advisor. I know quite a bit about money and the energetics of money, and I learn more all the time. I'm sharing this journey with you, with what I know, with what I've learned. I'm doing this, and I think I was kind of like, hey, maybe if I have people do it with me, it'll be more fun. That's how I started Solstice Alchemy, which is the first time I did this. I was like, hey, I'm doing this. Maybe it'll be fun if people do it with me. But I know that lessons are going to come through. So as I wrap up, something else to know about me, I do read people. One of the reasons why I asked you all to, in the beginning of this video, and if you can, when you watch it all the way through, tell me, why are you here? It helps me to see what messages need to come through for you. What do I need to channel through my pathways in order for this to be the most meaningful experience for you? If you hide, that's okay. This is your time and energy. And hopefully you get everything that you can get out of this free journey because it's free. It's just going to cost you your time. If you'd like the most out of it that you can possibly get, because I don't believe that giving things away for free means people don't value it. I don't believe that. I cannot tell you how many free courses I've taken, some this year, and I show up every single time because it's free, because I know this person put their time and energy into it. Of course, I'm going to show up out of respect. If you want to get the most out of this, I encourage you to answer the prompts, answer the questions. If you find yourself not answering the prompts or questions out of shame, write it. Money shame is real. I've had shame around money. There was something that popped up this year for me that was such an epiphany for me that had me go, holy shit. So that's why I've been doing that? Because of that piece of shame? So, yes, yes, be in receiving mode. Oh, it's so juicy. I, I love that the lights are flickering for me. It's such a good sign. All right, so just to recap, y'all see I love to read, right? You see all the books back there. Some of them I've read, some of them I haven't. Got pictures of my that frame is my look at that. That frame are both of my grandmothers together, by the way, a very rare photo of the two of them. And that is my mother's mother over there. And that up above, since y'all are here, right there, that's the program for my mom's funeral. And the candle that I have, that's her program. And my grandmother's program is next to it. You can't see it. Right. So they have their own little spot there. All right, not to get emotional, but I saw that and felt the need to point that out. And one of the lessons that I learned over the past couple of years was giving some honor and homage to my ancestors. I'm not suggesting you have to do that, but I will tell you that it will change things for you when you do. It's on you. All right, so how this journey is going to work. As I said, I'm going to. I get that some people. I know how much this book costs, and I get that some people can't afford it. That's just real. Right? I think it's like $7, but I've had moments when that getting this wasn't going to happen. Okay? So if you cannot, it's okay. If you can, it will help you, right? You can read the whole book. There's so much more in it. Um, I will put the first statement in here that everyone needs to do. I will have that in here by tomorrow morning. You need to write it out. These statements that I'm saying, you also need to write out. Okay, don't just listen to me. When I read the statement, you need to write it down. Go back if you need to listen to a replay. You need to write it down. Every day, you need to get your journal out. Where's mine? It's my journal. It's my journal. And because I'm real, where is it at? I started doing this again in October. And I fell off, I think, in the third cycle. The third or fourth cycle, I fell off on day 16, 17. Yep. See, I said skipped 11, 17. Need to start from scratch. See my little face right there? Anyway, just letting y'all know, you must write it down. The statement that I type in here, you must write it down. Okay. That is rule number one, not my rule of the book. Rule number two, you must do the statement for that day. You cannot skip a day. You skip a day, you go back to one, as you just saw in my journal. Okay, cannot skip a day. What else do I want to tell you? I'll be going live every day at 9, 8:58, 9:02, something like that, but somewhere around there. I'll be going live across social media. It won't just be in the group. I could have done it that way, but some people don't like Facebook. I'm not going to send all my live videos out. There's a part of me that feels like I need to do this only in the group. I don't know. I'm going to sit with that tonight because I really did want to go across social media platforms, but I'm going to sit with that tonight and see how it feels and see where I'm stuck on doing this only in this group versus me wanting to do every day across social media. There's something in there that I need to uncover. Either way, you'll have access to whatever I'm doing. It'll either be all of my social media channels or it'll be in here. So no worries. And occasionally I'm going to put in other stuff here in the group. Right now I'm live only in the group. Occasionally I'll put other stuff in here. There's some YouTube videos that I absolutely love. I won't flood y'all with them because there are hundreds, thousands of them out there. But there's some that if I really feel are important, I'm going to put them in the group. There's some mantras, some yantras I'm going to put here in the group. Meditations, things like that. I'm some pop-up lives in the group, for sure. I love doing this. This is effortless for me. This is something I love. I love all of the work that I do, but for whatever reason, this is very heartfelt for me. So this is not like work for me. All right, and I think that's about it for now. If you have any questions about anything, all right, the Kindle version is $3.99. There we go. If you have any questions for me, you drop them below. But again, I want to know, why are you here? Don't tell me because it's free. Don't tell me you're here to support me. I've heard those things before. That's why I'm saying that. I love that, and I think that that's great. But why did you decide to do this right now at this time? What called you to it? What had you decide to do it? That's really what I want to know, because you could be doing anything else for the next 40 days. I mean, this is the last thing I did want to tell you all. I've always done this around the solstice for a couple of reasons. One, the solstice is the metaphysically, it is this space, right, where you've got the longest night of the year. And after that, the nights get shorter and the days get longer. So for me, it almost felt like the equivalent of going from a new moon to a full moon. And we're planting seeds in the darkest of the dark, down deep in the dirt of our souls, that will grow as the sun comes back and sheds light on us. But by the time the light is here in the spring, Our seeds have been planted, they've been watered, they've been embedded. Once this 40 days is over, you can keep going as you'd like to go, but the seeds have been planted for the spring. And so that's why I've always chosen the solstice for this. I thought it was a beautiful way to to get ready for the new years. Everybody wants to get ready for the new year. Um, the solstice happens to fall on a Thursday this year, which I find highly auspicious because 2024 is an 8 year. 8 symbolizes wealth. Thursday is also Jupiter's day, and it is the day that symbolizes wealth. So the fact that the solstice is starting on a Thursday makes my nipples tingle right now. That we are going into an 8 year means that for you to be part of this now is going to shift some things energetically if you're open to it. It's gonna shift some things energetically. I'm extra excited. I can feel my tingles up my spine. I'm extra excited about it right now. So that's why I do this on the solstice. I'm excited that the solstice is on a Thursday. That's like extra special, like abundance. Um, yeah, and I think that that's it for right now. All right. Thank you for coming by. Those of you who are here, yes, perfect prep work. Woot, woot. Those of you who are here, because I'm on StreamYard, I can't see who. Let me dip over here real quick because I can't see who it is, and if I try to pull it up, it's gonna like cause an echo. So I will see who commented in the group, and thank you all for being here. You will see me tomorrow morning at 9-ish, going live. And if you cannot if you can't view me live, it's fine. The replay will be up, and I'll make my final decision about whether or not I'm going live in the group or whether I'm going to go live across social media platforms by tomorrow morning. All right. Thank you all. So then yes, that answers my question. Because I was saying, initially my plan was to go live across all of my social media platforms. And then I thought, do I just want to go live in the group? And I was like, no, some people don't like to be on Facebook or be in Facebook groups. And I get that. So the answer is yes, I will be going live across my social media platforms every day. However, the extras will be in the Facebook group. The extra. Oh, perfect. I totally get that. And that's what I was thinking too. There are people who just aren't on Facebook. And I don't like to limit everybody to Facebook. I know folks are like, well, you can create a fake profile. Look, people aren't on Facebook for a lot of different reasons. And I'm not trying to like turn a vegan into a meat eater kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like ethical reasons, privacy reasons. I get it. So I will be on YouTube. Yes. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, I'll be going live on. Thank you. Confirmation. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate you being here. I feel like this is going to be quite a ride. And when we're all together, it increases the energy. Doing things in community just makes the energy even more, abundant. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.